Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today we are going to do a ship priority guide. Whether you're a PvE player or a PvP player, or maybe you're a little bit of both in counterside, and there's a ton of ships to choose from, but some of them you don't want to go after, and some of them you don't want to build. And then there is a certain build priority order you should do. So we're going to cover all the ships that are out right now, and then there's going to be a few on the list that are coming out very, very soon. So I will have the link to the diagram down below. We'll have the chapters down below. And if you guys do like this video, hit that like and subscribe. Let's get started. All right, first things first, I just wanted to show you guys the diagram. I made this just quick for my community in the Discord, which, by the way, if you have not joined our Discord, links down in the description down below. But this is really the flow, and you really don't deviate from this very often, because these are the main ships you're going to have. And now you're probably wondering, they're like, man, that's a lot of ships. Well, especially in PvP, certain ships get banned. Like Lake Superior was banned for the longest time. You had other ships that were banned, like the New Detroit. And so eventually they had to come out with more ships so you had a variety of ships. And then certain ships are only good for mechs, and like some are better for counters and some are better for soldiers and stuff like that. And we won't really get into those details, but this is a generally great primer to follow. So starting at the top, the Coffin's got great skills, right? All allies increase HP by 15%. That's going to help you in the early game. Fires a laser, cool. And then skill haste. But the problem is that this ship just falls off very, very quickly and very, very easily. So, and especially considering we get a free SR selector. And now I hope you guys do pick the correct SR selector that we have in this diagram here. That you go for the Gleipnir. And then at this point in the diagram, I suggest that you go for the Gleipnir and also build the Rosengrift. The Rosengrift is actually very important, but let's take a look at both those ships real quick. So if we look at the Gleipnir, Gleipnir is really good. Increases counters attack by 15%. Perfect, wonderful. I mean, you're mainly using counters anyways until you make a very niche build. Places an enhanced combat support drone in the area. The drone lasts for a set amount of time, hit stunning and greatly damaging enemies. Damage plus 20%. Additional damage. Great. Absolutely wonderful. It's already better than the Coffin, right? And it fires a condensed, easily reloadable Eternium energy in a ray form. Inflicts damage to all enemies and then downs them. So this is really good because it knocks them back. You can actually use this in PvP for the longest time, even though on this website gives it a C rating, but in the early game you can use it. And then skill haste plus 15%, which is wonderful. Now look at the Rosengrift. The Rosengrift is actually really, really cracked for PvE in the early game for being a rarity end ship. And this is one that you can make, I swear, like day 2, guys. Like you might as well, you need a bunch of ships for diving anyways. So this is a great ship just to build with very low amount of resources. Increases defender and siege units by 20%. We're not too worried about that, but that's cool. Allied defender units and siege units. So any of your tanks, right? Drops a reloadable, blockable barricade, essentially. And then skill haste plus 25%. This is really good, especially in early game raids. If you're struggling with raids with keeping your ship alive or keeping your characters alive, this can actually help you out a lot as well. And then advanced plasma ray burst. Now this is its bread and butter. The target loses 50% of its defense for 10 seconds. Now you can only use this every 2 minutes. So in a typical raid, right, or in typical content, you're only going to be able to get this once, but that is a damage increase. And then you do get skill haste plus 15%. So this is a very, very, very good ship to have in the early game. Now going back to our diagram there. Now we do have the Stellar over there. I'm not really going to cover the Stellar, but the Stellar is actually a really good early on PvP ship. It does a whole bunch of lightning damage and a whole bunch of just random damage that it could go pretty good in the beginning. But as we start to drift away from early global, like maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 months in, like the Stellar is just going to lose a ton of the Stellar is going to lose a ton of its charm, we should say. And since it is a higher tier ship than like the end ship of the Rosengrift, I'd be very cautious about how you want to build it. But if you're swimming in resources, I guess so. So going down to our first SSR ship, which is the Enterprise. The Enterprise is just great across the board. Whether you're doing PvP or PvE, it's a great starting ship. All counters and mechs increase attack by 12% and hit by 25%. That's great. So this covers mostly everything besides soldiers on the field. Fires a special missile with improved reload capabilities. Does AoE damage. Enemies lose 50% evasion. This is great. So you have characters or enemies that have high evasion. This is going to help you out. You get skill haste plus 25% as well at max upgrade. For it recharging. Releases a jet stream with improved black hole drive. The target loses 30% attack and 30% defense for 8 seconds. Max upgrade bonus, additional enemy defense minus 30% for 8 seconds. That's a total of 60% defense down. This is a wonderful ship. Whether you're doing dives, whether you're doing danger close, whether you're doing PvP, just in the beginning, the ship is going to get you over that hurdle. Absolutely suggest that you guys get this ship. Now, at this point of the guide, you have to make a you have to make an alternate path. And what I would do is I would alternate the ships that you buy on the PvE side and the PvP side. So starting on the PvE side, the first ship that I suggest that you go for is the Kamizumi. I really wish you could actually say go for the New Detroit first, but we'll get to that in a second, mainly because there's some blockers in the way. So let's take a look at the Kamizumi. The Kamizumi increases crit and crit damage of allies on the field. That's all allies on the field. That's great. Crit plus 250 and crit damage plus 25. Mwah. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Targets lose 30% of their attack speed for 6 seconds in an AoE. Turbulence. Max bonus enemy attack speed minus 30%. This is really good. So slowing down attack speed essentially equals less damage that you're taking, right? And then fires a compressed air shot, so air burst cannon. Just causes damage and severe knockback to enemies in the broad area, levitating them. So this is actually really good too, because you can continue to attack enemies that are levitated. So this gives you some more opportunities to get damage in when you need to control the battlefield. This is a great ship for moving into a lot of our PvE progression as it starts to come out in the global version. I guess we'll finish off the left-hand side real quick. And now you have New Ohio and New Detroit. Now, both these ships are actually pretty good. And New Ohio is definitely needed in the very end game for like danger close and some raids, or some dives, I should say, that are in the 45 to 50. New Detroit, by and large, is still better, but you're going to use both of these ships. Now, the problem is that you can't get the New Detroit without unlocking New Ohio unless you pay for the package, the $20 or $30 package in the shop to get New Detroit right out the gate and just skip that whole step. And if that's the case, Kamizumi and New Detroit is going to carry you for a while. So let's review both of those ships real quick. You have the New Ohio, which you can see is double S according to this site. Enemy soldiers, damage taken plus 20%, which by and large, a lot of the some of the end game content and dives and stuff like that, you're going to be fighting a lot of soldiers. So this could be a very good ship for you. AoE damage to all enemies in range, and then so you have advanced meta disruption, and enemies within range and using skills, and decreases their hit for 50%. So great. A defensive disruption every 60 seconds, pretty good. Releases the ship engine's output power. This is called advanced overdrive. All enemies temporarily lose 20% of skill haste, and all allies gain 50% evasion. So once again, New Ohio is very specific on when you're going to bring this. There's certain missions that it's just, you're going to want that extra evasion. You're going to want that extra damage reduction. You're going to want to slow the enemies down because it's just going to take you a while to get through their health pulls. New Ohio is situationally used. You're not going to use it all the time. Look at New Detroit, though. All strikers. We have a lot of strikers, right? Chifuyu, a bunch of others, right? Attack plus 20% and attack speed plus 15%. Wonderful. You have advanced blaze discharge, which inflicts significant loss to hit for 8 seconds. 60% hit reduction is huge, absolutely huge for enemies. And then you have advanced Pantheon impact. I probably mispronounced that, I'm so sorry. Enemies exposed to the dust lose 50% of their defense for 12 seconds. That's the highest amount of defense reduction in time wise that we've seen on any ship to date. So the new Detroit is also a very, very good PVE ship, and you could probably start to see where you plug in some for dives, some for danger close, some for some of the other new content coming out, and some for raids, right? And so you're going to end up using a lot of these ships anyways. All right, going back over to our let's go to the PvP side real quick. You have Lake Superior as the #1 ship you should get right out the gate for PvP. It's very, very good. And now I'm just going to say that the next two ships are not out in global, depending on when you're watching this video. They may be out, they may not be out, but Blue Bridge MK2 and the Coffin 6 are great ships. I would pick up both of them just in case some combination of these ships get banned, right? You got to have some combination of them. So let's cover all three of those real quick. For Lake Superior, which you can see according to this website is SS, which I totally agree. All ally units damage taken is -12%. Great. You can take less damage. Grants advanced tactical barrier. The barrier equals 15% of the target's max HP in the last 10 seconds and grants immunity to hit stun from special and lower skills. This is absolutely wonderful because getting stun locked by not ultimate abilities is one of the worst things that can happen. And anything that can increase max HP, you might not need a healer if you're just more tanky, right? Advanced cross impact. Cast 2 high power phase barriers that inflict damage. These barriers move, so it deploys on the battleground and they move forward. So it pushes enemies back, which is really, really good. So if they're pushed towards you, you can push them back to them. Temporarily decreases allies' damage taken by an additional 12%. So you have a 24% reduction at times in PvP. So this is a very good thing to kind of save your butt, and they're both 60 seconds. This is what makes this ship really, really, really good, especially in ranked PvP. Now let's cover the Blue Bridge MK2, which you can see here. There's some. Okay, now let's cover the Blue Bridge MK2. Increases deployed units speed and attack speed by 30%. Great, wonderful. Speed and attack speed are great. You wouldn't think speed's that great in PvP, but it actually is, because the faster you can get over to the right-hand side, the more of the advantage you have. It's kind of like a tug-of-war. Advanced forward base fires a high-speed rocket, contains supplies. Cast above in the selected area. Increases skill haste and recovers HP for 8 seconds. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. Skill haste is wonderful. Typically, characters that can get their ultimates off faster. Think like Yang, who then offers skill haste on top of that, right? She gets her ultimate immediately, casts that, and then gives it to everyone else. It's just a win-win situation. Drops 3 improved paratrooper pods. This is the gunfire wave. Shieldman, rifleman, and sweeper. So you get 3 more attackers on the field, which is great. Successful deployment decreases the pod's HP by 40%. So this just gets you some more people to help you in PvP, right? And then looking at the Coffer 6, which you can see here is also SS in PvP. First one is increases attack and decreases damage of ally mechs on the field. So this is a very specific ship if you're building around mechs, or at least building maybe half around mechs, right? Maybe not a full team of mechs. This is a good ship to go for. Arc Protocol concentrates its improved black hole drive energy, yada 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 yada. The Matrix increases attack by 40% and decreases damage taken by 40% for 10 seconds on a 60-second cooldown for ally mechs in the range. So once again, very mech heavy. If you have a ton of mechs, right, that are built and you just want to shift gears and maybe not use counters, this can be a very toxic build. Concentrates its improved, and then you have Digamma, I should say. I was going to say Digiama. Distortion. This skill also increases allies. So essentially you get attack speed for mechs and plus hit. Enemies within the Matrix also lose attack speed and speed. This is great. This is So you can start to see by our diagram here that depending on what's banned in the week, now obviously nothing is banned in PvE typically, but in PvP, especially if like Superior gets banned, right, maybe you're going to have to use some combination of who you have better built. There could be a possibility that 2 get banned and maybe you only have Coffin 6 and maybe you need to come up with a mech team. It's just going to be mech week, right? Where we're battling a lot of mechs, or you have to bring the Enterprise or a few others, right? You'll have to get a little tricky with it. So that's all I have. Hopefully that guys helped you out. I'll have the link to this image in the description down below. Hit me up in the comments. Do you think I hit it? You think I didn't hit it? You think I am totally off base, or you think I got it? I don't know. If you guys are still here, hit that like and subscribe. Come join us in the Discord. Come follow me on my twitch.tv channel. We will be playing more counterside and everything else. And I appreciate you. Fist bump from me to you.
Oh,